History. What do you think of when you think of that word? Well, you think of the world. You think of United States. You think of like Britain, Germany, Canada. Well, I'm here to tell you that interpretation of what you're about to hear is wrong. Because for kind of a not as important video of maybe history, but I'm gonna go a deep dive in about the spin-off stuff that you've been watching on my channel and tell you the history of that. You're probably wondering like, why is there 23 seasons? Like, where was the first one, the second, third, fourth, so on? You know what I mean? But I'm here to tell you the whole history and the breakdown of it. So we have to start nowhere, really, because the first, like the 23 is really misleading because the first 12 seasons were not dated, were not having any data. There's not much that you can see there. There's definitely records of it. It's just my memory of what I can perceive best. So I have the championship champions of every year based off mere assumption for those first 12 seasons. You can really just count those, but I really want to include those the best I can because it's part of history. Even the previous 12 seasons, I could even not even be right because that's only an assumption. So as you see here in this notebook, so we got the champions every year. My handwriting is not that neat, but there's a drivers for each one. Yeah, there is drivers that go coincide of every one. But season 1 was a spot named Extreme, the very first one I ever made. I know for sure that as one. I don't know if those actual season then or just like just toying around, but basically that was what the seasons were like. We just did the tournament, no it was like a season. I don't include these early seasons as part of the real what's it called, GOAT leaderboard, which I'll show you later. What I mean by that one, because statistically, from like we use the statistics, seasons are 13 and longer. Only 4 competitors have been for the younger seasons. But yeah, Schroeder was competing back then. I probably think he won 4 championships. I'm pretty sure because I was pretty dominant at the time. All these ones are about assumptions, but I'm pretty sure I'm like 95% correct of these ones winning at least 1 or 2, depending who you tell. If they tell you who you like, I mean, of what they are. So, so basically, what's it called? Spaceman had won 3. I knew that was crazy dominant too. Japanese Fury at least won 1. I put it down for 2. I know those ones didn't win at that time, but I think Chinese Fury won 2. Yeah, that's about it really. All the other ones kind of overlapping and just taking out all those 12 seasons, you know. So, as we got those pre-data seasons, I call it the pre-modeled era because it's so different and it's so refutable. It might be unnecessary, if you will, but I lay it down just to keep it there. So, time to get to the data and see how different it works because as you see in season 23 is very complex. We go through this journal. I wrote in 2020. I got it from my 16th birthday, I believe. No, 15th birthday. Wait. 16th birthday. That was like the first time. Okay, yeah, so this is why I did a lot of drawings for one. But and stuff. You see a bunch of random stuff in there. But towards the end is where you actually see the actual stuff. I may make a video about how my drawings is all and all that. Maybe, but people think I'll be crazy or something if I did. So this is season 13. I don't know why I put Eliminator on the top. This is so, what's it called? Ancient data. So as you see here on season 13, is this backwards? I don't know if you're going to see this backwards. I really hope you don't see that backwards. But this camera kind of looks as a mirror. So you may not even see anything. Don't know how to reverse the image. But as I continue, wait, let's see if we can turn this upside down and see what we do with that. Nah. Yeah, but so basically, season 13, there was 10 different bots compared to 34 today. So we got this rookie new Horizons who won the championship that season. We had Blue Beetle, which competed in season 8. Cyber Mute was a rookie. What was it? Rookie. Signage Fairy been competing since season 4. And that is a guaranteed fact. That's the only one I can back up, definitely. Other than Shredder season 1, because I think there was 4 that right then. So I can back that up permanently too. Like the Blue Beetle pinwheels in season 8 that's the assumption, but I'm pretty sure they came out at the same time because there was this quarantine we had for about 2 weeks, so we did a season on that, maybe 2, but they came at the exact same time, so we rebuilt them, named them. So if anything, there's a fact that they've been in the same season, but it's a little bit distinguishable when. But it's a guaranteed fact they didn't actually win the entire thing. So we got here that as continued pinwheel course. Went 2-2. Chinese Fury went 2-2. There was only 4 weeks on this. It wasn't really weeks. It went by fast. But nowadays I just do it by weeks because I now have a YouTube channel and then I can post it consistently. We used to call them rounds back then, but then that would have coincided with the tournament, so it'd be a little confusing. Yeah, and then so the Riders were 4-0. Blue Beetle went 3-1. Cyber Mute went to 1-3. That was the only one they ever won that season. I think it went to season 14 as well, but it was one of the worst spots we ever had. Agent Shield made his debut. Still competes today in his 11th season nowadays. So it went 1-3 in his rookie season. I forgot about that one. Yeah, that's pretty bad for a debut. So Razzleby is an anomaly. It was pretty good this season. It was like a one base one. So if I could explain it, like it basically used one by one Legos, and it did one line. Like, let me draw it. I got a piece of paper. I got a piece of paper right here. Okay, we got a piece of paper. Come on, piece of paper. Give me. Oh, come on. It's going to be difficult me grabbing one. Oh, of course I grabbed 2. I might need 2 before we're done with. I know I just wasted like 15 seconds out there, 30 seconds. It's going to be okay though. So we have here. I'll draw over here. So basically, guys will be with like the head auto. I go right there. I go there. I go there. I go there. I go there. Basically, use the 5x5 kind of like fan piece, you know. I call it the plus sign piece. You know, then we use a giant stick like this because no actual spindle could have it like one of those like 5x5. It was 5 high. I think this was 5 long. And then he used a stud at the bottom, I think, because nothing else could be used there. Yeah, it was pretty good at the time because everything was weak at this time. Everything was so small. Like, this is season 13 basic look. But was like I said, how Chinese Fury been season 4. I remember it was a rookie design. So basically, Chinese Fury, what's it called? Basically, it was 2 pieces like this. It was 2 6x4s. And then he used a piece like this too, like what's it called, a curved piece. That's 3x2 basically. Basically, it looked like this. Yeah, then like splice in the middle, and then something like that, and then a spindle like that. It was so small and so irrelevant. Yeah, that's how weak they were back then. Now the juggernauts, if they're not juggernauts, they're basically small, but even the smallest today could easily demolish one of them. Those were trash in the dumpster back then, but we learned, and I learned, and I got better at making them stronger as we progressed. And that's what really matters. So, back to the season 15. Yeah, back then we used to put one page. It used to be towel thing, but I was more like what's it called analytical because it's been some time before the tournament in that time because I was actually using someone else's Legos at the time, so it wasn't my own, so I couldn't rely on it. So here's how the playoff control did worked. Which one will definitely in, and so on and so forth. Not in order, and he means that some of those items was in, and those are on the brink of elimination. But those are who were eliminated. Those are on the brink of elimination. Yeah. Usually, what's it called? I think what I did here, yeah, I did a like what's it called? A distinguishable fights after the at the end of the season. I haven't done this in a while in recent years because I actually perfectly coincided over the win records and loss records. But if there was a lot that's the same in fighting for a playoff position in what's it called for the tournament, you have to battle them out and see who actually is better than one another with that. So it's really cool. So we got so those who won it and those who lost it. So I guess I'm making this video too long, so I'll have to rush it. I'm gonna stay all day on this one. So this is based, like I said, it's based more on battle bots. I don't think I ever mentioned that before. So I kind of like based off like the giant, I do like as a trophy in battle bots. I still do it today as a trophy. You can build out Lego. It's very easy. You see over there. You can see over there too. It's kind of a mess over there. I need to clean that up a little bit more. I fully build every once in a while, but not much anymore since I took most of my pieces. So this is the tournament. The 1 seed, 5 seed. It was a different setup this time. Back then, up to like maybe season 2020. Yeah, like we used number 1, and then we used all number 1 to 8. No, number 1 for 4 on this one. And then the next shelf would be 5 to go to the number 1 seed because I feel like the best on the next shelf would go to the best on the first shelf. March Madness does it for the opposite worst, best, It gives me the best chance of the number 1 road, the easiest road. But this road basically says it will be equal difficulty compared with in ratio of the seeds, which is pretty cool, in my opinion. So New Horizons won it all, undefeated 7-0. Chinese Philly made the final. Blue Beetle made it there. Ancient Shield made it there. Surprising because it was number 7. Yeah, it basically fought for a playoff position just to make it to the semifinal. Season 14 is crazy. Let's get to that. Season 14. In season 14, we got what's it called? KOX made his debut. A bot named Schwanks made his debut, but it retired in season 20. This is irrelevant up here. So it took 1 page. So all you have to know is these are the ones here. 1 forfeited, which called Speed Spittle. So we had to give 2 free wins to which one was drawn. Back then we used to draw Lego blocks because there was not much. Each different color had a different competitor. So that's what we did. So so that's basically what we did for drawing them, and then they got free wins over that because who could have went for a bye week? But it still worked out pretty decently. No Cinderella ones really, other than what is expected. I mean, no Cinderella ones for the one who was given it, I guess. So Blue Beetle was top seed. Went the next round. We just won the tower thing again. Chinese Philly was upset by KOX. Asia Shield, the bottom went out. Number 8 this time. Made it to the final this time, but lost. My bad, you didn't see it. So that's what the tournament looked like. And New Horizons was undefeated 7-0. On this side is season 15. You probably saw it a while ago. So, unlike season 14, we got 12. This one had 18, so we could do a 16 tournament for the first time. So, Black was a rookie, and it won the tower thing, 8-0, because since it's 16 bracket, we could have one more fight. And it's still 4 weeks into the thing. So, basically, Black was there. Foshik was made his debut. Yeah, there was some retirements, like, what's it called? Some retired. Some like some of them that wasn't that good or retired, Speed only did 1 season. Thief to Kill was a bot just for 1 season. That's based off a character I made. Um, so my Asian Shield also made the final this season. Had a better season. It was a number 2 seed, so it was predicted to make it to the second round, but still that was an upset because that Bagel took out New Horizons. And that was the major way that Asia Shield made Veil to Veil. Without that, it would have been possible. Yeah. New Horizons was very, very dominant. So, moving on to Season 16. Season 16 was different because it was actually a season that didn't really walk. So, I had to simulate it the best I mean. Yeah, and that's very hard to do because, once again, it wasn't not my Legos I was using. So, I had to borrow it, and then there was a lot of changes where I couldn't, but at the time they couldn't happen. So, we had to simulate the rest of the season based off how it would compute. So, basically, I did basically mental matchups and see who would win that one because I did have a lot of already. I did have a lot of what's it called intel about how they work and who would have done it. I guess surprise before, so this wouldn't be entirely accurate, but I believe this would have happened and if we actually did the best I possibly could. So, count it or not, I think I did really good here because at the point of week 5 was the last time, and then there was 6 weeks this time. So Vex was the most dominant at 5-0, only undefeated one at this point. So Vex usually won the season because I think Vex was the strongest. It was a rookie this time. Well, it wasn't really a rookie. It was Red Beetle, which competed last season, and it was off and on in the future. But yeah, let me tell you all the rookies in season 15. So and a lot of them could beat today because you see, Povash was sucked. Povash only went for one season, I think. So what we call it? Doomfoot side was basically Agent Shield upside down. Skyhawk debuted. Moonwalker sucked. It was only one season. Yeah, and I think Foshik's debuted that season too. Yeah. So season 16, we have High Voltage debuting. Is one of the most dominant this season. Swirl came back. It didn't compete in season 15. And Pinwheel didn't compete in season 16. Blue Beetle didn't compete in season 15 because season 16 because Red Beetle and Vector Sports both basically looked as identical, so they basically made 4 different pieces for that as the pieces all we had to make Vex a dominant, even more dominant one. Season 15, this major knockout when they both did a double knockout, it was crazy. Yeah, because they were exactly similar. We don't see much double knockouts anytime. Recently, last episode you seen one in week 4, week 10. But Lucky, I think debuted this season. Tyler and he sucked. Hazel debuted. It was pretty good, but I never brought it back. I think I brought it back for season 17. Then it retired. So Axelot sucked. Why it was made his debut. It was really very good this season. He can't live up to his success anymore. I forgot to bring it back for season 17 because the forgot existed, so it took a few seasons to bring it back, truly back. So like I said, Vex won it. I can probably go all day about how this would simulate, but this is how I feel like how I would understand it. It's kind of hard to tell you how much I understand it by drawing every one of them out, but I'll try my best. I'll probably draw you what Vex look like. I should wait now for the sake of things. I'm going to draw what all the championships look like by the end of the video. I'm going to probably pause it by then, but because I don't want to waste your time. So I thought I lost my notebook at first by the time season 17 started, so I went in panic trying to draw this stuff. Well, no, this is actually not season 17. Scratch that, my bad. This is a 17 prototype that was actually started. But so a lot of these actually are used in names in the future, like Venom debuted season 18, Badger 19, so on and so forth. Like Rocket season 19, Starstruck season 17. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. But when I said, I thought I lost my notebook, I tried to re-put it. I would try to remake it, but yeah, I found it, so that was fine. If you read this, you'll bum. So, season 17 on the other page from this page. So we got a lot of rookies that you may see this season. or some rookies that just didn't, like Buffon, only one season. Starstruck debuted. Varsity squad, I think she's 16. Italian Pizza Party, Big Dipple was pretty good. Recently, he retired a few seasons ago. Swashbuckle, Bob debuted as he's 16, sucked, but maybe 4 and 17. Omega sucked. I think Lazenby was brought back this season, or this was the last season. Either way, it was toward the end of that career. Step Baker debuted season 13. I forgot to tell you that. So basically, saying 17, 22 competitors. And the tournament is right there. A little lopsided because it started further down the bottom of the page. So, Skyhawk went this season. It was very hard to see this tournament. So, here's a close up. Killer X was pretty good. Every season up to this point made it up to the semifinals. Round of 4, by the way. And Bob was undefeated up to the final, but lost. 9-1 for the season. Skyhawk won with 2 losses. The first one to do so with that many losses. First 2 seed to ever do it. Now, before then, it was dominated by 1 seed. So that's pretty cool. Season 6, it was a 16 tournament again. Nothing special from that one. All of it just kind of boils into one little and kind of encounter it too seriously. Season 18. Season 18 has some retirements, some rookies, and then, so yada yada. So, how the aliens started. The winner of season 22. Mafia Board started. Death Destination, I think, started this season. Yeah, I think so. Roadhouse started. It kind of sucked. So some winners losers, some forgetful ones, some retired to it in because he just wasn't too good, So I don't want to keep one losing. It just depends how much I like him or not. So I keep him going, I keep him not going. It's honestly to my discretion because you don't have their own minds, of course. So season 18 tournament, I kind of put some pen out there. It's not too much, but all gets better in the future. It looks a bit better in the future. So we're upside it again. KOX won again. Do 2 back-to-back championships, undefeated for both championships. Oh, wait, not both championships. I mean, this championship, yeah. That's season 19. I'll get to that in a minute. So KOX wins for the first time. That's what I meant to say. So KOX wins for the first time, beating Foshik in the final. Foshik's first final. And Black made it to the semifinals, so did Bob, but Bob lost. No, not Bob lost. Bob lost. Funny how awards coincide. So there's the codes, power for each one for drawing. And there's some concept art. So I don't even have to draw. That's what some will look like. I think that's what Ancient Shield looked like. Or maybe Black, so I don't know. Yeah, so cool stuff there. And season 19, well, I mean by concept art, they were already built by then, but so season 19 is kind of hard to see the logo. It's pretty cool. So we got 32 bots in season 18. I think we had 24. Yeah, we had 24. I made a mistake saying 24 new bots. Imagine that's more than nowadays. So yeah, this overflows this time. So we got like rookies like Bullet, Badger, Windmill. White came back. Yeah, all the rookies on this side, Night Barrel, Carnival, a lot of names today that's still competing. Not much of retired since then. It was for rookies because there's a big rookie class in starting season 20, I guess, season 21. So there was 4 undefeated bots that season. There was Bullet, there was KillX, there was Bob, and there was Studpickle. Pretty cool. So here's the tournament. Now this tournament looks awesome. I like the pen art there. Once again, the giant trophy. I call these spittles now. I used to call them strictly BattleBots then, but yeah, I want to call them by my own name, because they're not like BattleBots, but then I don't really want to call them Beyblades either, so. We got KOX winning in the first 32 tournament ever. Winning in fashion. There was only 32 this season, so there was none of them that missed the playoffs or the tournament. So, crazy. There was a bot in Triple Threat that was so bad, they didn't even get a single win. I think he got 1 win for his career. It was so bad. Like, it wasn't funny. It was experimental 3 design. this is gonna look trashy, but basically, I was gonna go for a bot that looked like this, but it didn't look like that at all. You had a bunch of lump sum by pieces that was just too much to be. They were pretty heavy, pretty wobbly. Used pieces like those bending pieces, you know. And then I used like pieces like these, like the ones where there's one piece in the middle, two pieces in the middle for a 3 piece wide, you know, middle pieces like that. Just put them all together. It was very loosely because I couldn't really do it successfully. Didn't have much bending pieces to really make it good. It would have probably did if I had enough. So, and this record still stands today. Killworks has 2 championships back to back, undefeated. It makes it 21 straight wins. New Rises has 18 wins by that time of his loss in season 15 first round, which it broke. So season 20. Sadly, this doesn't coincide with 2020 because if you did coincide by yours, that'd be awesome and that'd be cool since you're probably thinking like 23, season 23, I don't know. But yeah, so there was no COVID on this time, but it was made on COVID, so and we didn't care, so yes. So technically yes and no. But technically yes. Imagine making an overworld with this and imagine the phone falling. I think it was like this. Wait, no, it was like this. This video is only 26 minutes. Okay, we got Killers losing the first fight in season 20, ending its career win streak against number 10 at the time Death Destination. The Yankees will do the works from how they debuted and from the tournament and how far they made it. So the tournament was probably my favorite design. I love that design so much. 32 tournament, Rubio ends up winning. I can make a whole video about how crazy that championship was because it started from a one-win competitor to a championship because it had a groundbreaking design. Basically, it was a square out of but it just became a square, and square design was pretty cool. What was the first one? So basically, so my last part of the section of the video, so I had to cut off because the data was kind of running out, so I take out the trash, come back. So basically, I was saying how Rubio's design was not like Killers' design in season 17, but yeah, it's won the championship. It Killers went pretty far, but it wasn't big enough, and it was big enough to win the championship this season. So, and how they own was in the final of the end of the season. So, heading into season 21. More space out this time. Season 21 is really neat this time. You can see like how neat that is. It's like season 22, season 20 was such a 23 is such a downsell compared to the season. I love how neat this looks. You can see every name and everything. I even told the date I wasn't in this. We went in May 2022. On March 2, May 2022. So it took me 2 months to do that. There was 12 weeks this time. In season 20 there was 11. So, yeah. So here's every single fight was written down this season. I think this is the first time this happened. I think. I don't think so. Let me check. I should have done this earlier. I'm so unorganized. Yeah, I did do it into 20, but it was so sloppy. Yeah, season 20 was the first time every fight was tracked. But season 21 was really neat. Like, look how neat that is once again. It shows you main events and all that stuff. Main events was debuted in season 19. Those are the names of the rookie drivers and stuff. Cool. I think we'll see and we use this on that. It's kind of complicated because I almost fell asleep on it one night. So, In Season 21, Sweater won the title thing, winning his 5th championship all time, first time in the modern era. Andrew Schroeder's in the final, his third final of his career. Took 2 pages, so we kind of see that 64th tournament, the first one of its kind since it was 68 parts this season. So that was cool. Probably not gonna edit this because that's probably gonna take too much. I don't want to edit all here and there on so many different things. So there's gonna be uncut video basically. So season 22 right there last season. You can see different ones. It's gonna be more sloppy this season. Not as refined. All the fights kind of submerged together. It was really an understatement. Then it was even more submerged here. I hate that. But the fight of the week first time came when I put in pen the best fight of the week. So that was cool. Oh yeah, that's the corn day. So this is season 22 tournament. I got a hard design on this one, but it was okay. You know, playing Roman numerals big and on now. But I put in a fictional city in each one, so that like it was actually meant something, like we were sports week or something in each round. It was cool. It's kind of hard to see, like right there, you know. But yeah, Howard Aaron won this season. Bolt was in the final. Schroeder in the quarterfinal, and Bullock in the quarterfinal. Pretty good run, 5 seed. But not as good as Skyhawk in season 21 as a 7 seed made to the final. But that's what I'm going to do for this video. Because the current day is the next one, and then that's cool of the current season. So, yeah, so that's the one we're on today. And those are the weeks, and the tournament's yet to come, but I'll tell you when that happens. So, see you then. Goodbye. So, this is, what's it called? The other designs. Season 1. I will take this. Season 2, basically we'll take this for season 4, season 8, season 12, basically it's the same. Basically it's the same for season 3 for this one, 30 championships. Season 6, season 9, season 7, basically we'll take that, basically we'll take the same to that one. Season 13, basically will look like season 3, but a little bit better. Season 14 will as well. First triple bar, season 15, while still competing. Legs right there. Pretty cool design. Not the best artist. Season 13, I don't know if it's actually looks like that. Skylark's still competing. Skylark's still competing. We're still competing. Season 19 won as well. Season 21, Sweater still competing. Last season of competing before the towels. How they went to 22. Basically the design you see today because it can't change after winning. This is the GOAT leaderboard I was talking about. Sweater with the most points. This is like dictated by the playoffs and how far to make it to the tournament each year. They miss it, they get nothing. Fourth round appearance, they get 1. Second round appearance, they get 2, so on and so forth, depending on the size of the tournament. There's also a 2-way scoring system as well I try to experiment with. Because sometimes I say like 7 points if they win the thing, no matter what the size of the tournament is. But the other leaderboard is like 4 points if 4 points if they win a small tournament, but 7 points if they win a little big tournament. So that's a combined score of both of them division. But this is basically the 7-point scale, I call it. Basically 7 points for the championship and so on and so forth in the increasing order, no matter what the tournament is. Yeah. So because the tournament changed, so that's for the top 10. All of them still compete. So that's cool. And this one is on the rise, so how they only won last year almost there. That's pretty cool.